Hey guys, FilthyRobot here, bringing you the July 2017 State of the Channel update. I have two real goals with these State of the Channels. The first of these is to talk about upcoming content, and the second is to tell you a little bit about what's going on both on my channel as well as what's going on a little bit in my life. So that's our goals. At the moment, we're seeing a pretty large amount of Darkest Dungeon content being created. I played through Crimson Court on stream, and then a lot of that will be making its way to YouTube as the month continues. And we did play through our first playthrough and started our second playthrough. Second playthrough, we're going to be adding some additional challenge rules. These are rules that aren't part of the base game itself. We beat it on hard mode, and now we're making it harder by requiring some extra restrictions. I think this month's restrictions are going to be, or like this next playthrough anyways, it might not be the whole month, are going to be one of every class to the Darkest Dungeon. So I'll need to bring an Antiquarian to one fight and a Leper to another fight, this type of thing. So all 16 classes need to be represented in the missions of the Darkest Dungeon, and there's 16 character slots and 4 missions. That means everyone's got to go. That's the first rule. And the second rule is there's going to be no stress healing outside of camping or using services in the town. So that means no Jester healing, stress healing, no Crusader stress healing, and no Houndmaster stress healing either. I'm not quite decided yet if I'm going to allow Flagellant stress healing or not, since that's not really stress healing. It's kind of moving stress around. So I haven't decided about that one yet. But that's going to be the rule set. So it's going to be extra hard. It's going to change up the play style of the game a lot for me, since a lot of the play I do nowadays is based around stress healing. So it should shake up the game a little bit for me, keep me interested while giving you guys a good show of something that's extremely difficult to do and that I'm not guaranteed to succeed on. So we'll have to see how that goes, but it should be pretty fun. In addition, we're going to be doing a game of Civilization 5. It's going to be single player and probably unmodded, but I will be playing that probably this weekend. I'm thinking Sunday right now. That would be Sunday, what, the 10th? Yeah, I think that would be Sunday the 10th that I'll probably be playing that. So if you're interested in seeing some Civilization 5 content, that, by the way, is in direct response to both y'all's suggestions to the June 2017 video, as well as meeting the goals. So what I did after that video is I had a thought about it, and I thought, you know, there's a lot of people who suggested even like one game a month would be really good. We'd really like that. And I thought, okay, that's one game a month is fairly doable. That's, you know, that's a day out of that streaming schedule for a month. That's probably something that we could do again. I certainly liked the game and have liked the game. I was just feeling a bit burnt out on it, and I went back and thought about it and decided, yeah, okay, we'll try that. So what I did is implemented a daily goal on the channel for a donation goal, and if we met the donation goal throughout the course of the month, then I'd go play a Civ game. And we did meet the June donation goal, so we're going to go check out Civilization 5 again for you guys on stream, but also making it up to YouTube. So if you guys are wanting that, hopefully that is what you're wanting, and hopefully you guys will enjoy that. Other than that, Dungeons & Dragons will continue. We will have 3 recording campaigns, 3 recording sessions this month, so we'll be releasing 3 sets of videos for those. We will have to miss 1 week because of scheduling conflicts, and 1 week we're going to have a guest DM because it's really hard to coordinate us. What do we have? 4 people, 5 people rather, on basically, it's like 5 people on like 3 continents or something ridiculous. Like we're in South Korea, we're in Singapore, we're in I can't remember where Ricky's from exactly. Somewhere in Europe. I think it might be Germany, but I'm not entirely sure, and I might have just done him no justice there. And then Zylo and I are from the U.S. So it's quite a lot of time zones being coordinated there, but we are going to try to keep that content fairly regular if we can. And if you haven't checked that out, that's a lot of fun to record. So hopefully it's a lot of fun to watch too. You guys should definitely check it out. Okay, other than that, I might possibly do another half stream or quarter stream of Dominion Online. I've been enjoying that game a lot on my own time, and I find it a little bit addictive, honestly. It's a very easy to sit down, click the button, you're instantly playing, and the matches are fairly quick, like 15 minutes maybe, depending. So you can easily make time disappear with that game. So I've been having a lot of fun with that. That's based on a board game that I was playing with some friends in person. I'm like, holy crap, this is really fun. They're like, oh yeah, there's an online version too if you want to go check that out. So that's been pretty good, but I don't think that will be a long-term thing that's on the channel. I think it would just kind of be there maybe for a little bit longer as I burn out my addiction on that and you know, get that out of my system. So Okay, so that's probably the upcoming content. I'm contemplating a couple other things. I'm thinking about maybe a little bit more Dawn of War 3 content. I believe there was another update that I haven't messed around with that added other play modes and supposedly did, I think, a little bit of balancing stuff. I haven't really looked into it very much. That game felt a little dead to me, though, by the end when I was playing it. A little dead and a little repetitive. I was having a hard time finding solid, strong opposition. And a hard time finding multiple strategies where realistically only one or maybe 1.5 strategies were actually viable strategies for any given scenario. And I didn't really want to get into the 1v1 element of that game. It didn't seem super fun to me. The 3v3 was much more fun. So there's some chance of that returning, but that's going to be kind of a big maybe with it. I'd like to go back and finish our Battle Brothers playthrough. We never did finish that, and I was really enjoying that game, but I'm not entirely sure we'll get to that either. Viewership on that is kind of so-so. There was a bit of hype in early, and then it kind of died down as we were playing it. What happens was a lot of things, but the numbers were a little bit low for me to continue with that, probably. Interesting game, much better than I was giving it credit for, mostly because the aesthetic of those giant heads just really kind of turned me off the game, but you get used to it. It turns out you play with it long enough, you get used to it, and the game is quite fun, quite challenging, and I enjoyed it. So we might get back to that. And then a little bit further on the back burner behind those two ideas, I am considering another EU4 campaign. We did pick up a Irish minor campaign, but we basically found that we couldn't deal with Great Britain, so that we didn't make it far enough into the campaign for me to consider bringing up to YouTube. So it's possible we might do another EU4 campaign, another EU4 solo campaign, and it's possible we might do another XCOM 2 campaign, but those are a little bit further back on the back burner than the other two ideas I just presented. On related notes, there's still, of course, I get contacted throughout the month by various developers who are asking if I'd like to play their games, and I also sometimes do some outreach if there are game titles that I'm really interested in that I haven't heard from a developer from already. I don't have any of those particularly at this instant on the top of my head, but that doesn't mean there won't be throughout the course of the month. So we might also see just some random games show up there from time to time, and if I really like one, it might show up for a larger period of time than I was expecting, which would be great if that happened, but we're not quite there yet. My collaboration with Roomba on the EU4 stuff has been temporarily put on hold. Not from any personal things. He and I are getting along just fine or anything like that, but we're both kind of like the campaign that we were playing. There doesn't seem to be much left in it besides killing Ming, and that doesn't really seem that interesting to either of us. And we're having trouble finding ways with EU4 to make a 2-player multiplayer enjoyable and engaging for both of us without it just being a stomp of the computers. So I don't know. Maybe we'll come up with ideas with that, or maybe we will find another game to collaborate on. If we can, that would be great. But I think he and I are both of the mindset we're going to take a little bit break from our EU4 collaborations. So, what else? But on the flip side of that, I can't announce what it is yet, but I do have a fairly interesting collaboration we'll be doing a little bit later in this month. I hope it will hit YouTube before the month ends, but it will be right around that transition between July and August. Can't give you any more details than that, but it should be really fun, especially if you're a long-term fan of my content. So I can't really tell you more than that right now. I am personally looking for another game to really sink my teeth into. Darkest Dungeon is great. There's a lot of hours in that, but it does reach its limit. I would love another long-term game to get my teeth into. I miss having a go-to game. I heard I was listening. One of my viewers linked me a discussion between Summit 1G and Destiny talking about streaming as a profession. And one of the things that Summit was talking about was, he likes having a go-to game. Like, he might have other games that he plays for a day or a couple of days, but he likes his bread and butter game that he plays every time he streams. And I don't know that I want that, but I would like to have more than kind of just one of those sitting around. I would like to have a couple games that I really engage with deeply and do on a regular basis. It'd be nice to have another one of those. So I'm kind of got my eye looking for that. I don't know what that's going to look like yet. I don't know what that's going to be, but if one of those happened to fall into my lap, that'd be pretty sweet. So feel free to keep shooting suggestions at me, guys. I do read all of the comments, especially for a video like this where I'm actively soliciting feedback. So I don't know. We'll have to keep our eyes open. I don't think there's anything quite yet on the market, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there'll be something that I can find that for myself with. But I'd like to get one of those again. What else? We've had some shitty internet and power related stuff this month in the channel. Last weekend I had 2 power outages during stream time, which is ridiculous. I live about 45 minutes outside of Chicago. It's not like I'm in some like rural suburb. I'm not even a suburb. I'm in a suburb. It's not like I'm in some rural area of the state where there's like, you know, no one there except me and my computer, and we're like huddled down behind a tree with like exposed to the elements or something, and there's like a mouse is running desperately to power the computer and a wheel or something. No, I'm in a perfectly civilized area of the country. It's ridiculous that I should be getting power outages. But power outage is what I got. And then today I'm offline from streaming when I was meaning to be streaming today because last week was power outages and this week is now internet service provider issues where my upload is being arbitrarily reduced by about 75% or so of my upload is reduced right now for no fucking reason whatsoever. Don't know why. I've called the company. They don't even know what the hell's going on, so hopefully it's a short-term thing. But we are having provider-related issues for the channel, which kind of sucks. All right, so that's pretty much what's going on with the channel right now. I guess I could give you an update from the Patreon stuff as well as the YouTube ad stuff. YouTube is recovering slowly, but it's still way down from what it was prior to crash levels, which is really unfortunate. The Patreon stuff has been great. It's been a very, very nice supplement for that. That is still slowly growing, which is awesome. So those of you who have taken the time to support me on that, thank you very much again for that. And also, maybe talk about it now on the screen. Is it this way? Yes, it's this way, right here on the screen. Those are the, as one of the perks of the higher level Patreon supporters, you get your names up on the screen when we do these. So for those of you who have taken that extra level of support, thank you very much for those guys. So cheers on that. On some personal notes, I'm fairly busy during the summer months. I am both an outdoor rock climber, which means that when I can, I schedule, my wife and I go and hike and climb and camp often down at climbing areas to go do outdoor rock climbing. We did one of those over the 4th of July holiday, and we have another one coming up, I hope, in late July. That shouldn't interfere with any of my streaming, but it is something to be aware of in terms of it does interfere with my ability to produce, for example, guide videos outside of streaming time. So it's just something else to throw out there. We are probably in Illinois for about another year, what it looks like to me from this time zone, so from this time frame. So although I'd love to go change my internet service provider, there are no other options here. I'd love to change my power company, but there are no other options here, and I can't move. So can't move for another year. So we're going to be here till my wife graduates with her PhD, which should be she goes on the job market this fall, and it should be about this time next year when we're moving. But until then, we're going to be in this area. Oh, I did forget one thing about upcoming content. I am going to try out a couple more Darkest Dungeon guide videos. I'm going to start by releasing a few class guides about talking about some specific classes, and if everyone likes that or doesn't like that, then we'll decide whether or not we want to make more of those. So let me know what you think when they come out. Give me the feedback. Is this stuff useful or not useful? If it isn't, then we'll cease and desist with that. But if it is, perhaps we'll go through all 16 of the classes. It'd kind of be fun to have those videos up for future reference. All right, guys. Well, I want to keep these relatively short, so thank you very much for watching. Hopefully this was useful or fun information for you. And as always on these videos are designed for a direct as possible communication between you guys and me. So feedback on any of these things is always welcome. If you want to talk to me about upcoming games that you're thinking of, that would be great, or up in my alley, that would be fantastic. If you just want to talk more about any of the topics that were brought up, I do read the comments for these and try to respond to any and all of those comments. So again, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.